Welcome to WinSouls TV. This is your host, Jeff Thomas, and today we are going to be talking about stepping outside of the confines of the barriers that the Lord has set for us. The Lord has given us a lot of commands concerning how to be obedient, guarding our tongue, not fornicating, adultery, all of those specific things. But there is a shift in identity that actually takes place concerning things that when we step outside of those barriers, it actually has an effect on how we begin to view ourselves. And I was reading a book called Atomic Habits. And I'm relating that to the word and, personal experiences as well as things that I've noticed concerning living in the world. So when we first begin to live in the world, it's just like, man, this is fun. There are no rules. You can do whatever you want to do. Concerning me, I wasn't trying to get locked up or anything, but you can basically just delve into whatever you want to do without having any type of conviction, without having anyone judging you, this, that, and the other, because that is how majority of the world lives. The majority of the world doesn't want to live in a narrow path. The path that the Lord has set for all of us, all of us that are saved. So that's why we have a lot of Christians that literally are only Christians because of the fact that they have received Jesus, but they're not actually living out that walk. So with that said, how does that affect identity? I'll give you an example. There are two men at a bar. One man is offered alcohol and he says, no, I'm really trying to stop. I don't want that. The other man says, no, I don't drink. Now, both of them have been alcoholics in the past, but there is a shift in identity based on what they have just said. So let's delve into that. So the man that says, man, you know what, I'm trying to stop. He is the one who doesn't necessarily believe who he is as a person. And so he's wrestling with himself, wrestling with his identity. And it's like, man, I'm trying to stop, but you try really, really hard to stop when you don't necessarily know who you are. When you know who you are, you don't have to try hard to stop because that's not who you are at your core. That's not who you are at your root. So naturally, you would make a comment like the other man, saying, no, I don't drink. That's not who I am. And so when we begin to live in the world, naturally, a lot of us, based on our actions, living in the world and falling short of the glory of God, this can also be used as a tool of Satan. We begin to justify or categorize who we are based off of the things that we do. But when we begin to actually realize who we are based off of who the Lord has told us that we are, we begin to walk differently. And it's a lot easier to walk differently when you know who you are and you believe who you are. That is the most important thing. When you believe it for yourself, others will jump on the bandwagon. And see the change in you. You see what I'm saying? Because when you believe it, then you allow the change to happen. You are looking for it. You are searching for it. You are knocking down the door for it. But when you don't necessarily believe it, you will always be in a state of struggle. And it's like you just bend with every little, drift in the wind. Instead of, finding who you are, living out that individual out of the belief of who he has told you are, but then also you naturally stay within the barriers that he has set. And you will find that when you stay within the barriers and the commands that he has given us, you are more free than you were when you were living in the world. It's a very funny thing. You are more free than you were when you were living in the world. But when you are living in the world, it seems like you can just do whatever without any type of repercussion. But it always hurts on the inside, because there is an individual on the inside of you that does not agree with anything that we are doing. And that is Jesus Christ. That is the Holy Spirit. So, with all of that said, let's begin to stay within the barriers that the Lord has set and live the joyous, prosperous life that He has set for us, believing who we are. Y'all have a good one.